Go live. Go live. I've got two companions, two little doggy butts. That's Allie. She's the 2-year-old. That's Gabby, who's my 4.5-year-old. They're really funny. So, I was going to show you a picture of the dog food we eat, Taste of the Wild. We eat, these guys. And we use Bill Jack, a couple other ones. Anyway, we rotate dog foods. See that what you're told is backwards. Just don't change your dog food. How would you like to eat everything the same for the rest of your life? Would that be healthy? Well, why would you do that to your dogs? See that they don't have diarrhea once? Well, if you start rotating their foods regularly, variety is the spice of life, they're fine with changing foods. In nature, they eat everything. They're omnivores, berries, grass, greens, meat, eggs, all of it. So let's feed them one dog food their whole life? That's complete lunacy. As usual, whatever you've been told, if you'll do better if you flip it 180. All right. Vote with your money. Let's see if I can read it upside down. Where you spend your money is your vote for what you want the world to be. Don't buy crap or unhealthy stuff. Don't give your money to unloving people. Politicians won't save you. Kind of obvious by now, don't you think? Hello? Vote with your money. That's the real power to the people. Until eventually we will vote for not even having a money system. In my book, Listening to the Sun, there's a chapter called Exchange Your Money with Love. Meaning, while you're using money, this was taught to me by Spirit. When I was writing that chapter, I was poor. I lived, poverty line. I don't know, I lived on $12,000 a year or something for, many years, 10 years, 15 years. You don't have to. But I wasn't willing to be part of the matrix or slave myself as much as, If I'd had kids, it would have been a different thing, of course. I would have had to participate in the matrix more, seemingly. Maybe not. Don't believe what I say. Vote with your money. Threadless.mrtees, T-E-E-S, threadless.com, if you like the shirts. But what the topic is today is upgrading ourselves. So the last 2 nights I've been having major bone marrow, deep in my cellular tissues, upgrades going on. And this is part of the real awakening, real healing, real upgrade process. You will literally have to transmute, alchemize, alchemyenergyprocess.com, the second method I work with personally and in courses, and I recommend to people. alchemyenergyprocess.com. But I would start with the innerbodyawakening.com if you're new to this, and use as a foundation. I use them every day. It pleasures me, gives me the holy comforter, the kundalini inside, and it also upgrades me. It alchemizes my body more and more into finer electromagnetic spiritual consciousness states. Because the kingdom of heaven, the attaining Buddha-ness, the going oneness, is not about theory. It's about actually, like Carl Jung says, facing the stuff inside you and letting in the glory. Gloria! Why do you think there's a halo above saints' heads? Because it's actually the downloading and uploading of the glories, the electromagnetic frequency, soul consciousness energies that are part of your upgrade. So you can learn everything on earth and every textbook and know every teacher and all that, and you will miss the boat because you're not upgrading yourself. It's like being a librarian. You can read and catalog and keep track of and say that you have read everything. But where's your energy? What profited you to gain the world or the knowledge, but you lose your own soul? So upgrading ourselves, if you want to get on what's called the ascension, I call it the expansion nowadays, or the dropping in thing, becoming center, becoming merging and expanding at the same time. Feel the paradox. Merging, dropping in, and somehow expanding. You drop into the Buddha center. I and my father, I and my mother are one. And that makes you go omnipresent, more expanded. You can feel when people are going to call you. You sit and just feel people in your consciousness, and later there's some reason you're doing it. That's how masters do it. That's how Babaji does it. That's what Jesus is doing. That's what all the masters go quantum. Quantum is beyond time, space, not linear crapola, super slow, super heavy. Gravity has got a hold on you. Masters overcome gravity, overcome death, merge the subconsciousness. Now, this you're going to have to do it. Don't you know ye are gods? Ye shall do greater things than I'm doing, Jesus says at one point. You know? He's probably a little frustrated in the afternoon. He says, I want to go play with the dogs. Don't you know you guys are gods? Leave me the bleep alone. Right? Anyway, so how this self-upgrading, this evolution is very simple. It's not easy when you're battling your mind, but it's simple. Feel yourself. Be completely honest with yourself, with exactly what you're feeling, sensing in the moment. Eckhart Tolle's whole teaching. Be in the moment. Be fully present with your energies. Honestly. No diffraction, distraction, fracturing of your consciousness. No scattering, diffraction, distraction. Full conscious breath. Notice your breath doing you. The in-breath breathes Kundalini up your spine. The out-breath, it goes down. Beautiful up and down movement. The in and out breath of the universe. Notice that it's sexual because it's all little tiny holograms of the universe. Your breath and your sex are some of the closest places where you contact the numismatic, the luminescence of the holographic, luminous universe. Fancy words. But the words by themselves won't get you there. You go, oh, I heard this really cool statement once. So sent me into samadhi, man. I had a satori. Okay. Stop talking about it. Where are you right now? And it doesn't have to be work. It's actually pleasure. Again, 180. It doesn't take hard work and discipline. So, in the self-upgrading, it's going to challenge you because we've been shut down in consciousness to the point where we have a fracture thing, which is called physical death. Death is not real. Again, death and taxes are the two things that are complete frauds. Taxes was a bullshit thing. Read the book Creature from Jekyll Island. where the Vanderbilts and the Morgans and so forth would have their giant mansions down in South Carolina, I think it is, or North Carolina. The secret trip down there to start the federal tax system, the federal income tax. The bankers who own the politicians put that into place. Total lie. It's actually unconstitutional. Oh, Tobias, you're one of them lunatic John Birch. No. If you want to keep living under death and taxes, keep it going. If you want to pass that on to your kids, do it. I'm shaking the dust from my feet and letting the dead bury the dead. You know? Moving on to fun realms. So, as these self-upgrades want to happen, you will be challenged. Because they don't want to let you go. It's like a leech on you. You can't argue with it and go, you can't discuss rationally and go, you know, Mr. Leech, would you mind, this is not mutual, I didn't agree to this. That's not how bullies work. That's not how power-hungry denial monsters work. They always need more, like vampires, like governments, like cabals, financial. Why would the Rockefellers and Rothschilds want more money? They have all the money. They run the fucking international banking system. They babies like George Soros, they're just babies. He's just a front line. The real powers are behind those people. The Bill Gates, the Silvas of Mexico, and Soroses and the Chinese multi-billionaires, and there's layers behind them, and then there's layers behind them which run the things. The human cattle sheeple on the surface, we are completely like mushrooms, fed bullshit and kept in the dark. Totally. So you're going to want to start waking up. The cattle rancher does not let go of his cattle easily. It's punishable immediately by hanging from the nearest oak tree. Right? They like to own people. They would like to have you stamped. They do. They got you a social security number. Pretty soon there'll be an RFID chip put in and all that, yeah? Unless you speak up and say no, the rape will continue. Unless you speak up and say no, the rape of your consciousness, your metaphysical energies, your soul will continue. Now you can say a quiet no, you can opt out. You don't have to be a radical on the street, that doesn't really work. The Antifa people that are hating Trump right now, how's that working for them? It's not going to. It just makes them more poor, gets them arrested, it makes it worse for them. If you want to undo things, if you want to be a real radical, a real reformer, reformat yourself. But when you're lazy or you're unwilling to look at your own shit, you project, throw your shit on others, scapegoat and blame. Blame is lame, stupid. It's actually ridiculous. It keeps you stuck in the game forever until you wake up from that idea. So if you want to change things on earth, change yourself first. So when these changes come, when these suggestions or downloads or uploads or integrations, insights, revelations, epiphanies, blah, 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 what word do you want? Come to you. The cellular upgrade, the actual energetic shift. You can look at your house, Joy's going through this, and know, I need to get rid of all this shit. Knowing that is very different than pick the shit up, get it out of the closet, put it in the bags, give it to Goodwill, have the garage sale, clean it out. It's very different. Knowing that you need to do it is good. It's better than being a complete zombie and just following along with the mass distractions. But it's not the actual healing, the holing integration. So feel it right now. All right. I'm ready to move. I'm ready to get shit done. I'm ready to get rid of the old and let in the new. That's why masters live in the complete moment. They're continually letting things go through them, but they attach to nothing. Once you attach and Velcro to shit, it starts attaching to you. That's buildup of, quote, sins or karma. You build up stuffed, repressed energies. Now, there's certain mechanisms that we've got put into us, certain automatic reflex thought and belief patterns. So when you're going to undo them, they're not going to let go willingly. They're going to be like that leech. When you're teaching a puppy, you have to kind of, like Cesar Millan, touch them. Mommy's telling you stop. You can't sit there and talk to them. You need physical motion. You're going to need the same thing to physically upgrade your body at times. Now, this will manifest in different ways. You'll feel it as this thing that needs to be upgraded in you, as a subconscious tendency. Oh, that's the way I've always done it. An automatic reflex habit, a rut. A Pavlovian rut reflex inside your subconscious that takes over. This is like when you eat for no reason. You drink. Why am I doing it? You can even start watching yourself. At first you're just a zombie and you wake up 6 hours later going, oh, I watched TV for 6 hours. What the fuck was I doing? Or I ate stuff I know I didn't want to and I feel like crap now. Or I went into a reflex thought pattern that I know that I didn't want to do that. Something took you over. Right? That thing that takes you over, call it whatever, a subconscious tendency, an imprint, a demon, an entity, call it whatever you want. Who cares? Call it gorga, call it, there's words are nothing. Sounds are made up crapola symbolism. You got to feel it on an energy level. Therefore, the inner body awakening. Start to be in touch with your energies. If you only stay on the surface, you'll only live a surface life. The vast majority of humans are only going to be living a surface life. Maybe 15% of the people on the earth right now can even hear this concept. The rest are really zombies. They're pre-programmed, wind-up toys. You get them born, you get them programmed, they go to school, the parents imprint them, and off they go, and they start to create their own kids to feed into the system. Be ye therefore fruitful and multiply. Or, as L. Ron Hubbard says, we need more meat for the machine. Like when Pink Floyd sings, we don't need no education. Like, leave those kids alone. Watch the video. The kids are being walked like zombies into the meat grinder. Perfect, Roger Waters is having a major insight that humans are just part of the meat grinder. Osho says, there's the church. You're young and happy. You do your wedding. You go in the front of the church. Give it about 30, 40, 50 years. You come out the back end and they put you in the ground. They sucked all the life out of you. And now you're a corpse. By their fruits you shall know them, some teacher said. You went in the front all fun and happy and you swore some blood oath and then you were used and the whole time and you're completely drained and you die a cadaverous, emaciated cancer thing, and they say some nice words and they keep the machinery going. Boring, stupid, passé, over, for me. And some of you, you can step out of the matrix. Is it easy? No. You'll be facing these self-upgrades. And they are tenacious fucking implants. Leeches stuck around your spinal column. Leeches stuck in your chakra systems, draining your energy. So when you face them down, they're going to show up in different ways. You can feel, I don't really want to do that family shit. I feel so icky, it's just on rote. Oh, how you doing? How's your life? Look at my kids are going to Stanford. Let's have a Thanksgiving. Great, let's overstuff ourselves, or let's drink. Let's do it for the kids. But we've turned into zombies. You can step out of that matrix. Hi, I have a career. La-di frickin' da. You had a career. And you accomplished what? A lawyer for 40 years? Really? Now, I'm not rejecting all the professions. What I'm saying is how you do it. If you transform yourself, you'll be a rebel reformer. You'll upgrade the whole system by doing it for yourself first. Your very energy will osmosis the world around you. Walking in the street with placards and yelling and screaming and creating violence and destroying shit, you're shitting in your own nest. Now, destruction has its place. Some of your jobs is to be unconscious destroyers. I understand that. But unless that's your role, if you get sucked into it, it's just going to screw up your life. I want the bliss. So the way the reforming things, the upgrading your own self will show up are some ways like this. That subconscious pattern, you go, what? I'm just caught by that. You're going to have to confront it. You're going to have to feel uncomfortable. It's like heroin detox, except it is matrix programming detox. Sometimes it'll show up as, whoa, I went on a past life regression, which I do with people, by the way. Soulcounseling.com. Only if you're drawn to it. Only if you're ready. Dilettante spirituality, half lukewarm spirituality is a waste of time. Well, whatever. It is what it is. Sometimes you'll go off into another dimension and you'll see some creature in some little spaceship. Are you projecting this or is it real? What the fuck's the difference? You're a Buddha. You're creating realities. Am I making this up? Yes. Is it real? Yes. Is it an illusion? Yes. Don't look for truth. Be the truth. Oh, that sounds so good, Tobias, but what the fuck does it mean? It means do some digging. Do some introspection, some dropping in to your own Buddha nature, which means you're going to have to be a little bit still. Whatever method comes along that works for you. So sometimes these plugs, imprints, things will show up as, there's an obvious tendency that owns me, an automatic coping mechanism, reflex. When you're ready to remove these sucker fish, these demons, these your own subconscious patterns, you don't have to believe in demons. In an ayahuasca ceremony, the first times I ever did them, the shaman showed me, he said, now watch how I'm working the group. He was showing me how he would sing into people. He'd go, watch, over there. And he'd sing into them, and that guy would start puking stuff out of himself. The physical puke was done, but now there was energies coming out of him. The shaman was helping him upgrade his energies. Now later he didn't remember anything. So, and the shaman showed me, now look, you can see that as the greenish, whitish energy just coming out of his face or mouth. Or, the shaman said, you change the channel a little bit into symbology, and you can see it as these demon frog creatures with melting fucking faces and distorted, destroying their bodies. The shaman said, it doesn't matter how you see it. Or you can feel it as a thought, as a concept, as a pure energy, or as an emotion. The shaman showed me all the channels. He said, they're all real. It's your symbology. It's your projection. You're the creator. Wow. So, as these self-upgrades happen, you can see them in different ways. You can see them as, wow, I saw a creature in a spaceship who's got these controls, and he's electromagnetically linked into me, and then he noticed that I noticed him, and he kind of freaked out and said to me, you're not supposed to know I'm here. Now, is that real? Yes, it's real. Or is it a subconscious tendency of suppressed denial inside yourself, your shadow? Yes, that's real too. Stop looking for the truth. There is no one truth. There's you creating a symbology, your own personal signaling system, your own approach that you can view multiple ways. The search for truth causes one truth to fight the other truth. And the entities that like that, like Jehovah, the officer of the Anunnaki, that's all he was. All he did was fuck a bunch of earth women, and he got stuck here on earth because of cosmic laws. And then he had to start feeding off of people because he had a different body than was used to this planet. That's who started all those religions. The Hebrew religion, because they created the Hebrews first. That's why they're the quote chosen people. Then they created, with Abraham, had a son with, that became the Arabs. All that is a giant sibling rivalry. I stood there on the Temple Mount when I was 22. I said, God, what's up? Here's this young, beautiful Israeli woman and her friend in soldiers' uniforms with fucking machine gun or whatever, automatic rifles. And she's got red lipstick on, and up here is the whole Rock of the Dome, where Muhammad ascended and left his foot imprint. That's what the Muslims believe. Right over the hill is the Garden of Gethsemane. Just to the left is Golgotha. And down below is a remnant of Solomon's temple with the giant rocks, the Wailing Wall, where the Orthodox Jews, swinging their little locks back and forth in their hats and little black cube Saturn box on their forehead, are sticking pieces of paper. And I'm going, what the fuck is this? And my heart is sad. I'm standing there. What's this about? And God said very simply, or whoever it was, somebody working on her behalf, it's just the Hatfields and McCoys. It's just a sibling rivalry. But it's a nasty one. And it's infecting the planet with nuclear weapons between the Muslims and the Jews. And if you don't watch it, you'll go down with the ship. Hello! So if you don't upgrade yourself and step out of the matrix, you'll get caught in that crapola. Angling for World War III. It's going on, as you've noticed, for 60 years. Ever since I've been alive, every dang night on the news, in the Middle East tonight, same shit. Goes on forever. It's just a sibling rivalry. It's the Hatfields and McCoys. It's just a family feud. That was two families. This is worse. It's just the same family. Created by the Anunnaki, the gods of ancient Babylon and Sumer. And that has nothing to do with you, unless it does. If you're a Native American, you're from Lemuria. That has nothing to do with the mess in Mesopotamia. If you're an African, although they did go there, look up Michael Tellinger, 25,000 stone circle pits that they mined gold in. That's another story. I talked more in detail about this on the webcast yesterday. By the way, yeah, check that out. Course of Awakening. Check out the webcasts every Sunday if you're interested. It's $15, $20. We still have to work with money some. Plus, you giving a faith of I want to participate seems to work still for the vast majority of people. Eventually, it'll all be free, but we're not ready. If we were, we'd have free energy. This little box over here, instead of being air conditioning, is going to be a magnetic motor that runs your whole house. Duh. And what I'm interested in, I've finally gotten it, you can't share it with the masses, but create your own car that runs on hydrogen and your own magnetic motor. That's what's going to happen. Don't tell the masses, because then the owners, the cattle owners, will come and kill you or buy you out. It's happened thousands of times. There's over 5,000 patents at the Patent Office in the United States of America that are, quote, classified for what? National security purposes. And the vast majority of them have to do with energy products. If you get a solar energy product that's 30 or 40% efficient, it's classified and suppressed for national security purposes. But you can have it for yourself. Bob Lazar, the guy who worked out at Area 51 in the 80s, and they were going to kill him, and he went public, which is the safest thing to do, runs his own car on hydrogen, has been doing it for 20 years. But as soon as he tried to share it with the public, they'd come in and hassle him. So if we do this underground, feel it, folks. Hello, authorities. We're not going to set the cattle free. There's just a few of us. They're evolving a little bit. We're going to create our own magnetic motors. Look up Thrive Movement with Procter Gamble and Adam Trombley, who lives in Sedona, by the way. Friend of mine. Anyway, I shouldn't tell some of those stories. So yeah, once you create free energy in you, you'll have it on the outside. But if you try to set people free before they're ready, it's like handing flamethrowers to 3-year-olds. The cabal is right. The financial cabal is right. The masses are asses. They can't handle it yet. It's true, but they don't want to educate them. They don't want to help them grow. They want to keep them as slaves. But you have to set the slaves free slowly. I know this is radical here. Whether it's Moses setting the Hebrew slaves free, they couldn't handle it. He tried to give them the true information too early. The first trip up Mount Sinai, Moses brings down not the 10 commandments, the 10 directions. And those are literally copied from the ancient Egyptian, which came from Atlantis and Toth. He just basically gets the 10 secret commandments that are given to the high priests of Egypt and says, I'll share it with the people. The same thing Jesus tried to do. He goes, let's just share it with the people. But when you try to set the cattle sheeple free, the owner tends to hang you from a tree. Literally, the cross. Hello. So Moses went up the mountain, and he was gone just a little bit, and the people just reverted back to worshipping idols. Literally a golden calf. And he got so pissed. And read there, by the way, he melts the calf down, and he's so angry, Moses, he pours the fucking liquid gold into their throats, the ones that did it. Why? Because the Egyptian mysteries were the gold as manna, as bread. It's all there, hidden, if you look for it. Why does he raise up the serpent in the desert? What is the serpent? It's your kundalini. Look at it. Moses raising serpent in the desert. Look it up. You'll see pictures of these serpents. What's with the serpents and the staffs and the snakes and thy rod and thy staff? Undo the obfuscation, the occultism right now. Drop the veils from your eyes. Put a little thing in your head right now in your subconscious. I'm ready to see behind the scenes. The Essenes were a group of beings that were behind the scenes, and they were actually the ones that brought Jesus into birth. And Joseph of Arimathea was part of that, who is Merlin in other lifetimes, and I'm telling too much. But you got to find it at your own pace. Just sowing some seeds for you to look. But the personal upgrades is what's important. I'm not being arrogant here. I'm being a little strident. I know that. I don't know why. This is what's impulse that I want to do and feels right to do. And at some point I may quit altogether. Follow the Tao. Allow the Tao. All right, much love. So your own personal upgrades will come in many different forms. ET encounters, subconscious Jungian tendencies. Same thing. Body work. Moving, my heart palpitations, my hearing tones in my ear, feeling something being born in my throat, pressure on the third eye, energetic movement, and now we're going there. Then lower chakras. Oh no, that's not spiritual. It's the most spiritual, essential need at this time on earth. But it's such an obfuscated, stolen place that sex, open sex, has turned into the giant porn industry. The porn industry is so strong that it literally invented the internet. Well, DARPA did, the Defense Agency Research Projects Association, which, by the way, are the ones that have to clear all inventions at the patent office regarding energy. Anyway, We have suppressed so much of that power in the basement. And so opening Pandora's box, you're going to have to proceed step by step at a certain rate. And you'll be tested by yourself. It's not some God up there going, let's persecute Job. That's not going on. Unless you want that scenario. Unless you want that scene, that way of looking at it. You can have that. It's not true. It's true. One little truth. But it's just another one of the facet of the diamonds. Thousands. On a diamond you have 100 facets. Looking out of each facet you get a certain worldview. A scattered, shattered, fractured reality. The time now is to join those and realize I am the one looking out. Without going out of my room I can know all things on earth, like Lao Tzu says. Do it. Come to the webcast on Sundays. We're downloading, for those of you that are ready, downloading some energies. By the way, I just was told this morning, or felt it from my own higher self, God, source, angels, who gives a shit? Whatever label you give them, you know, if you're into labeling and going, no, it's actually 79,000 dimensions. No, it's only 144. Well, it's seven chakras. No, it's not. It's 9. No, it's 144 chakras. That's ego mind fuck. Don't get caught in ego mind fuck. It's replete, full of ego mind fuck in our spiritual path. The general progression is someone has an insight. I have a satori. I had a oneness experience. Now I'm a Yogananda and I'm going to start my own cult. Get the fuck off of that. Keep going for yourself. And then when and if real God source impels you to share some of this, do it. Otherwise, you're getting the booby prize. Fail, gong. You missed it. Not that you don't share, but the key is keep going for yourself. And these upgrades are not going to be easy. Because the leeches, the cosmic leeches, call it what you want, the entities, the demons, your own parts of your own self, your own subconscious tendencies, they're not going to go, oh, that makes sense. Let's just, oh, I'm sorry that I've been in your body for 12,000 years in earth time, and you've made me into a two-horned devil. This is a real story. One of our ayahuasca ceremonies. Oh, but now you're right. I should just transform back into consciousness, being conscious and not subconscious. Oh, that's easy. No, that's not how it works. Sometimes, maybe. But even people that have massive transformations instantly, like Eckhart Tolle, if you look at his life, he spent a lot of years being completely neurotic first, and then after he had the experience, he spends 3 years basically fucking homeless on a park benches around London. Get real! Everyone sees the product and goes, oh, let's go sit with Eckhart and vampire off of him. Do your own fucking work. Or you're going to just get the booby prize. Tobias, you raised your voice and showed some emotions. You couldn't possibly be a real spiritual teacher, because real spiritual teachers just sit there and say, oh, dear ones, it's all oneness. If you would just see, drop it. No need for processing. It's all Advaita. Nothing has ever happened. That's a fucking seductive mind-fuck ego trap. The vast majority of it. Is there real Advaita? Of course. But the closer you get to full truth, the more seductive and the more splintering the half-truths are. I'll give you an example. Saint Germain from Romania or wherever, Germany, I forget, had a major insights, and he started the Illuminati, 1776. Now, it was good. But the people that he thought he could help heal, the financial system, they got so seduced that we have what we have today. A financial cabal. There's some factions on the earth, the Eastern, the Oriental versus the Western, and so forth. The dragon societies, that's all true. And the Western, Rockefeller, Rothschilds, don't go over conspiracy fear porn with it here, but just being real. They wanted the power more than they wanted their own enlightenment. And they got very, very powerful so they could run the world. But you're going to be tested along the way. Boy, part of me right now is going, did you tell too much, Tobias? No. I'm just a lunatic, spiritual loony. Don't worry, Mr. and Mrs. Cabals and people that run the world. I'm easily dismissible. You know, he's just a lunatic. And he's gone off the deep end. He's not in the real world. He doesn't work in the real world at all. Which, by the way, I'm really glad I don't. All right. So your personal upgrades are going to be sometimes very challenging. Because you're literally pulling soul succubuses or your own patterns. Decide how you want to look at it. Or see however it shows up for you. So it's not always going to be fun. Sometimes it's physical pains. I've been working with this soul, this attachment, this thing in my neck. And it's gone away. It's come back. So it's teaching me. The upgrade is teaching me something huge. And on the other side is a major, major freedom. Not that I'm into suffering, but you got to keep it real. Jesus sweats blood. Most of you will not be required to do that. Most of you will not be required to do what Eckhart Tolle had to do. And he's not a Jesus Christ. He's an awakened human. There's layers of awakening. It's not like all of a sudden you're totally awake and you're a complete Shiva Buddha or Christos. No, there's layers to it. Allow your process. Go on your journey, if it's right for you. By the way, there's nothing wrong with living out another lifetime, just dying as a normal, your programs. Because facing these things too early, no wine before it's time, facing it too early can soul traumatize you. So ask for the right pace for you. No soul tests before their time. If you've come and done ayahuasca with us, you know it can scare the living fucking shit out of you. Because you're up against yourself, your own subconscious crapola. Aya's just a midwife. Ayahuasca is just a midwife. So is real meditation. So is St. Anthony sitting in his cave in southern Egypt. First Catholic saint. He's real. See beyond it all. Don't get stuck. Don't reject all of Catholicism. Don't reject any. There's truth everywhere. Let's pick Scientology. Is it true that there's some off ET influence? Yes. But the lunatic fucking thing that turns into, or Mormons, is it true that Joseph Smith met the angels, Moroni? Look at that name. Yes, it's true. But does that mean that you need to join the cult and tithe and wear the magic underwear? No! Discern. Pick the stuff that's real. Learn to discern. Another good t-shirt we have, by the way. Learn to discern. They're fun to wear out. All right. Much love. Your own personal upgrades, you're going to have to face them, feel them, and free them. There's no way around it. I heard Spirit tell me years ago when I was sitting for 3 years in my apartment going, what the fuck, I'm done. I don't want to be here unless I get the realer deal. One day, God, or Spirit, my angels, help, my own higher self, whatever you want to call it, said, Tobias, there's no way around it. But there is a way through it. That's not about suffering. There's more and more elegant ways. Elegant means efficient and beautiful. And you can do it hard. You can mow this lawn by not having a lawn. I'm done with lawn. Or you can cut it with a pair of scissors. Or you can pay someone to do it. Or you can get grass that doesn't grow. Or you can get a lawnmower. Or you can sell the house. There's always hundreds of options. In every where you are sitting, every situation, you are the pregnant 0 point, and there's myriads. Like the sun knows this. That's why the sun how many rays go off the sun? How many rays of sunlight come off the sun? You can't count them. They're innumerable because they're not even in 3D space. That's how many timeline options are available for you at any time. Once you become a solar sun, that's why Buddha sits and all the realities are around him. He knows he is the creator source, the decider, the experiencer of realities. Feel it in your bones as I say these things. Let the seed drop into your spinal column and your kundalini. Then when the cleaning begins, we did a Course of Awakening in Sedona, a couple of people felt some waves of nausea. Why? Because it's cleaning out the shit. Well, I do it very gently. Others just have total bliss experiences when we do the courses. We have the total comforter come in. Now people get hungry for that. They get addicted. Oh, can I have more of that, Tobias? Can I come and attend again? I don't know. This time maybe you're going to go throw up because you need to purge. You trust the moment. By the way, all right, speaking of moment, truth momentum, we're doing great. Shit's starting to boil up everywhere. One full conscious breath. I drop my seed, my intention, in the tent of the one. Intention, intent, ion. I drop my seed. You're very powerful. You're a god. Every teacher has told you that. Drop your intention. I want truth on earth. I want revelation, which is the apocalypse. Apocalypse means full divine revelation. Only the people that don't want to be exposed and get real and get transparent and become as little children and get honest are going to be scared of the apocalypse. Only those parts of you that are scared of revelation are going to... Hang on, the dogs are barking. Miley, hush. Miley, hush. This is part of teaching. This is how the universe teaches us. Miley, no bark. No bark. Daddy says no bark, no bark. Good girl, stay. No. Real life disciplining. That happens to us as well. Source has to do that to you. So, the truth momentum is doing incredibly well. We are going to be revealing more and more and more. One thing that's going to happen in particular is child pedophilia rings by some of the elites. This horrible way of stealing energy from innocence is going to be exposed more and more. It's time. So look for that. Recently, the mayor of Seattle was coming up, Mr. Seattle. Oh, it's so peaceful here. We're all progressive. Oh, really? The mayor happens to have been paying 10 or 20 bucks to crack-addicted young kids to give him sexual favors. All that needs to be exposed, allegedly. Hey, Gabby, leave it. So all these things, do you want that to be exposed? Then let's do the truth moment. Each day, or whenever you feel like it. Bring more. I want free energy. I want ease. Reveal the crap that destroys the earth. You can always vote with your consciousness. Maybe I'll just set up a camera somewhere and just sit for 24 hours a day and just share shit. And you can send me enough donations that the shit's taken care of. All I need is a little room somewhere, a little garden, like Osho. I don't want money. I want a beautiful place to hang out. All right. Love you guys. More later. Bye.